How's it going, everybody? Spencer here for a video that I normally don't usually do. I've got a collections update video. As you can tell by my very nerdy and cluttered background behind me, I like to collect a lot of different stuff, and I always am like, why do I not like show it off more? Because like usually it'll just be little bits and pieces here and there, but I got like a full-on big box of stuff this week. Kind of through Amazon, some of it not all through it. I'll go into that in a little bit, but wanted to just do something a little bit different, show some stuff I've picked up, and chat with you all before I go into work today. So, don't mind the obviously came out of the shower head. Let's go into this. It's 99.9% video games, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So, as you can tell by the box being Wolverined open, I've already opened this. The only thing I've opened out of this was one thing I just physically could not wait to play. I got this package 2 days ago, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try and film this. My work schedule is terrible in terms of like, all right, I either got to do something before work, but then I have to hope I don't have any errands to do before work, because by the time I get off work, it's so late in the day that I'm like, okay, am I just going to spend all night doing this video? Blah, 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 blah. You know what I wanted to do instead? I wanted to rip this open and play Theatrhythm Final Bar Line, which, by the way, showing this to my wife, it was so funny. She just like looked at the word Theatrhythm like, what the fuck is this? She's like, is that two, three different words? I love Theatrhythm. I love Final Fantasy, which is no surprise to anybody, but I've been wanting to pick this up for the longest time. I love these games. I've been playing them since the 3DS, and it was one of those things of like, I think just, no, when it came out, yeah, it was like during my complete, cluster cuss of a year last year, so I was like, okay, well, I know that this game's not really going anywhere. I'm not going to get spoiled on anything. I'll pick it up eventually when I find it. I don't know what happened. This game I never saw in stores. Like, major retailers never stocked this. I feel like not a lot of people talked about it. I hope it sold well. It probably didn't, and if it did, it mostly sold on Switch, I bet. But I love that team. The Kingdom Hearts game they worked on before this, I think it's Melody of Memory or Memory of Melody. 10 out of 10. Like, they make some of my favorite rhythm games of all time. And it's got, like, what, like, even without the DLC, it's, like, over 300 Final Fantasy songs. Like, it's such a crazy value, even at $50. And I would always be like, oh, if I ever see it in stores, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up when I see it in stores, and I never saw it. And half of these orders, if not more, are all from Woot. I'd never ordered anything from Woot before. I'd always known about it through, like, following Wario64, and it would be like, I mean, I'll check it out, let's see what's there. And what was so funny was, like, I knew that Woot was, like, a reputable site, but because I'd never ordered anything from it, they had this huge video game sale that's been running the last month. And I think by the time this video goes live, there should be, like, 4 days left. They had some, and they still have some crazy deals on there. Like, they have the collector's edition with the statue of Aegis for P3R on Xbox is $95. It's like MSRP is $200. Oh my god, what was it? The one more edition of P5R on all systems is $50 on there, which is just like, man, what a really unfortunate name. Like, what a really unfortunate name for that one, just in the sense of that, like, I don't know who maybe added 1 or 2 extra zeros on there, but that was clearly overprinted to hell and back. So, most of these are going to be from Woot. I think there's 1 or 2 that aren't, and I'm going to go from it there. But yes, the only one I've actually opened is Theatrhythm. I've been playing it in my free time, and man, if you want an excuse to be really unproductive and play way too many music tracks, that's your fix. But before I get to Woot, we've got the Callisto Protocol. I picked it up on PS5. This was another one that, like, what was it? It launched December 2022. I was really looking forward to it. I was a big fan of horror games as well as Dead Space. I ended up getting the Dead Space remake first, and then just kind of was like, oh, I'll pick it up eventually. I'd known it hadn't really sold that well, and I was really excited to pick it up, but I mean, it was like $70 at launch. And then it got, I feel like after like 3 or maybe 6 months later, you just saw it in every like $20 bargain bin. And then when it gets to that bargain bin and you see it everywhere, you're like, oh, I'll pick it up eventually. It's just going to be there all the time. And then they started clearancing it even more to the point that finding it was harder. What was funny was like, I'll buy it, but I've seen it so stupidly cheap now. I'd seen it for like $10, $5 new. I was like, I'll just pick it up eventually. So the publisher Skybound had a like 4th of July sale for this and everything else on their shop. Everything was already clearanced, and then everything on top of that was 25% off. So I got the game for $3.75, and I was like, I have no excuse not to buy this. It's $3. Like, the shipping was double the price of the game, and it was still a good deal. Like, I got the whole thing for, like, I think just under $9. It was just so funny to me that, like, all right, this is your excuse, dude. You just got to go get it. Another weird clearance find, and another game that, like, for the longest time, I was like, dude, just pick this up. I don't know why you haven't bought this sooner. Scarlet Nexus on PS5. I'm pretty sure this was Bandai Namco's like first PS5 and Series X game. This is one I'd wanted for a while. I really like the team who worked on it. All the gameplay looks really, really fun. The art style is cool. This was another one. Didn't sell great. Was always in the $20 or so clearance bins. And I was like, I'll pick it up whenever. I'll pick it up whenever. And I like Walmart store clearances are always different. Of like some games, they will clearance all across the country. Other ones, the stores will just be like, okay, I've got 900 copies of Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Let's throw them in my clearance bin. Like, there's a picture I have somewhere of me with, like, a literal armful of copies of TMS. And it's just, like, it just depends on your store. And I went to one that was remodeling, and they threw basically all their clearance games into the clearance dump. It was $9. I was like, $9? Yeah, perfect. It's right there. Don't have to worry about shipping it. I'll pick it up, put it on the backlog. For $9, I can't go wrong. Last one that I think is not Woot related. This was a weird Facebook Marketplace pickup, but I found some guy who was selling steelbooks, and for me, ironically, I'm like, when it comes to like PlayStation Vita games and steelbooks, it's hard for me to find stuff I don't already have. Steelbooks less so, I guess, because like those ones, because I haven't been buying as many collector's editions, there's still some that I don't have that I'd like, but for the most part, the ones I really, really want, I've gotten. He was selling a couple of ones. This one is the Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury Steelbook. This was, I think, Europe and Australia. I know Korea had their own version. But he had it for $10, was less than a 10-minute drive away. And I saw pictures that it didn't look super scuzzed up. This isn't anything rare or crazy, but like for $10, I didn't have to import it, and I could just drive down the road and pick it up and not get stabbed. A total win. No complaints. Now, we're going to get into the Woot order. Prepare to be whelmed and maybe excited by some. So, one that I'm sure no one will want me to talk about. I've got Just Dance 2024 on PS5. Why did I buy this? I hate this so much. It's a voucher code. The problem, though, is we actually like Just Dance in this house. We bought I'm trying to look at it here. We bought 2021 and we bought 2022 on PS5. And my wife and her family and them all like playing it. But when they stopped doing the disc, I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just wait till it's stupidly clearanced. And I got this for $10. I was like, for $10, I was like, honey, do you want this for $10? Sure. It's worth it at that point. They can play it. They don't have to worry about the disc. But it's like, I get why they don't do the disc, especially with how this game is now basically just a live service that updates every year. But I also hate it at the same time. So, $10. I couldn't be that mad. Now, this one I was mad at myself for how long this took for me to get. I finally bought a copy of Eternites. I had been wanting this for so long, and it was just like, game released, I was really busy. Physical release came out, I was either super poor or was in the middle of starting my job. Something came up. Friend of the show worked on this. Studio Sai worked on this game, been talking with them for years, was so excited to see this get released. It sold pretty well. I don't know what the publisher Maximum Games was either doing with their stock or something. You could buy, like, I bought, what is it? I think I got this for, I think I have the receipt actually here. No, it does not have the receipt for it, but I got this for $9, I think, if not less. And there's the PS4 version physically as well, which is like $6 or $7. So stupidly cheap. It was already a discounted like physical release that got I think it was like $30 at launch. So like, it's not even like if you bought it at launch you got hosed. Really excited to finally sit down and check that out, just because I've been watching the development of that for so long. Next up, this is another one that was like, man, I gotta pick this game up eventually. And when I saw this, I was like, how can I not? Castlevania Returns. The Dead Cells Return to Castlevania Edition. So Dead Cells was like the one roguelike I had never picked up. I was like, I'm sure I'll love this. I just was like, it's getting a bunch of DLC. It was kind of like Darkest Dungeon, where it was getting so much DLC and updates. I was like, I'll get eventually when like they're done with it. And this version basically is that. I don't think it's all of the DLC. No, it actually looks like it might be. But the main thing is it has a majority of the updates on the disc and the Castlevania DLC. The cover art looks really, really cool. Finally get to play it, native PS5 version. This one I think I got for like 16, 17 bucks, like under 20. Now next up, Jesus, this is heavy. This one I might actually have to open just because I want to see what's in here. We have Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 Deluxe Edition on PS5. So this was 45 bucks, which you might think, wow, that's actually like pretty expensive for what you bought. It's 2 full games on, I think they're 2 separate discs. We're about to find out. But it MSRP'd for $70, and they originally were both $60 games, and I'm like, that seems pretty fair. I've had a big Falcom itch recently. I've been wanting to get back, play their stuff. Shout out to, I think today, the day I'm posting this, Tokyo Xanadu Plus is on Switch. So if you want to play a newer, updated, localized version of Tokyo Xanadu, Falcom's like least talked about game, you can go check that out. So I haven't picked up any of Falcom's stuff on PS5. PS4 actually probably too. I haven't picked up a Falcom game. I don't think I own a single Falcom game on PS4. They're all Vita. So the Deluxe Edition, it's got the little split cover art here on the back. Shows a little bit of info on both. And it is 2 separate discs. Let's get the code out of the way. You get, on a 4K Blu-ray, Cold Steel 3, Cold Steel 4. I didn't even realize there's like a cool little split spine art treatment here. NIS does like such good work with their releases. I just wish I had the time and money to buy them all. And then you even got a little tiny art booklet, which is basically just like, hey, imagine if we did a instruction manual with a bunch of JPEGs, and I'm here for it. Showing off the characters. Let's get like a generic shot. Shows off characters, in-game, concept art. No, not even concept art. Illustrations, though. It's like, it's super no frills, but still cool nonetheless. I'm all here for it. And then there's also a digital soundtrack for all you sickos out there who don't like CDs. That one, I will not be getting to for a while, but it was 45 bucks. Both games, I can knock it out. I've got to pick up a couple other Falcom games that I'm missing in my collection, but I think next I'm going to try and get Ys 8 and 9 leading up to 10, and I'll probably do like some Ys on my Vita leading up to 10, or at the very least the remake coming out next year. Now, last but not least, this one I'm actually going to open. Oh, I haven't even actually gotten to look at this yet. I've only seen like the back. Spencer is a fake Atlas fan no longer. Unicorn Overlord Monarch Edition. This is a chunky box. It's finally here. I've got it. We're going to do a quick unboxing. I got this for, I want to say 80 bucks. I think it MSRP'd originally at, let's see, I think it was 120. It was either like 120 or 130, which I think was honestly pretty fair. This was just one that like, I think I could have afforded it, but it was just like released at such a terrible time for me. I'm like, dude, I have no time to play this game. Like Final Fantasy, P3R, all the other games coming out. So it's a really nice set here for it. And what was funny is like the game sold really well, but the collector's edition only ever sold out on Switch. So the PS5 and Xbox version you can find very easily. And the Xbox One is even cheaper. So this is really, really nice. So you've got this kind of like foil print with a bunch of the different characters. This box has got an awesome matte feel on it. Hopefully that's kind of picking up. It's so shiny, it's going to be hard to see. So you've got a little seal here, but it's just like one of those magnet clamp boxes. You've got a copy of the game. Like, I've been so busy, I think I basically just deleted the demo too, because I got to the point where I was like, just play the game. I'm so glad we're doing this now at this point. I'll hurry it up there. So we've got the weirdest... No, I think P3R did the same thing here. We've got the Unicorn Overlord, not soundtrack, a 16-bit arranged album. So I've listened to a couple of those arrangements. They sound really, really good. It is weird that it's not the album and those. It's just that. We've got a soft cover art book, which I'm not going to lie. This art book's, like, presentation-wise, a little sad. I'm sure the art is great, but, like, compared to some of the other hardcover art books Vanillaware and Atlas have done, it's hard not to kind of compare them. But, I mean, it's Vanillaware art. There's no complaints. And it's over 120 pages, so, like, I definitely get it. Why they would kind of want to cheap out. Very weird, all the characters tell you who the Japanese voice actor is, and not the English voice actor. Good timing with the video game strike. So half of the book is showing off characters, and there we go. So then there's also backgrounds, and I assume we'll get to concept art? Oh, fuck yeah, food porn. All right. That's like half the reason to buy this. Jesus. Some good looking food. Oh, here we go. And concept art. Vanillaware concept art is always so cool. Yeah, a lot of really cool stuff. So, art book. Maybe soft cover, but still appreciated. And then last but not least, this is like the reason to buy this thing. It is the Unicorn Overlord card game. I don't know who decided to let them do this. I think this was like a Vanillaware Japan decision, and then somehow, by some miracle, this got localized. Oh, it even has like the whole thing of 2 to 4 players, 30 minutes to 120, ages 10 and up. So the box is super flimsy, it's no frills, but it comes with, oh my god, there's way more localized than this I thought. Rule booklet, a little, here's how to lay things out. Localized comic, which is cool. Oh my god, these cards are so tiny. You've got a little bag of goodies. And then, oh, I'd be curious to see where they got this printed at. Alright, do not expect to, like, PSA grade these cards. But, you've got 4 different colored decks here as well. I would actually like to, at one point, learn how to play this. Maybe, like, do a video on it of, like, hey, here's people playing this game. I don't know if anyone's actually covered the board... No, not the board game. The card game. But as a lover of card games, and a person who has people in the house that I can force to play it, I should definitely check that out. But 18 long minutes later, oh my god. That's the video. That's all the stuff I got. Let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games and 1 steelbook. Let me know what you thought. Sorry this went so long. Thanks for watching this with me. Podcast with Marsh went out yesterday. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Be sure to check it out. I'll be back next week, maybe with another video. Fingers crossed. Trying to be productive and not just work all the time. But thank you all for watching. Love and miss y'all. Goodbye.